Jonathan, this is Dr. Carlson. I've already taken a little bit of a look around your knee. I'm going to show you some of the highlights. We're looking at the outer half of your knee now. Your thigh bone, femur is up above, tibia below. That's your lateral meniscus. And that all looks fine on the outer side. No signs of any tears there. We can roll your knee back and forth and the cartilage looks pretty smooth. And we're looking into the center of your knee. And this probe that I have here is about 1/4 inch from the tip of it to where it makes the bend. And this is the reason you haven't been able to straighten your knee. This is your meniscus that has flipped into the front as a big bucket handle, and it's blocking the femur here and it's getting caught there, so you can't, as you try to fully extend, that's getting caught in the notch and not allowing you to extend it any further. And we'll push that back in place and we'll get a little closer look at it, but you've got a radial tear in it as well. You can see this is kind of a blunt end of the meniscus, so it looks like you're going to have at least one radial tear in it. There's another little vertical tear here. So this is probably not going to be one that we repair, but we'll get a better look at it when we flip it over and see the back half of it as well. This is your ACL that it is distorting somewhat, or at least a portion of your ACL. We'll also get a better look at that later. This does look a little bit lax. You can see how there's a little bit of play to it. And your knee is much looser than the average one when we examine it under anesthesia. But again, we knew that coming in. I'm going to push this back in place and I'll show you what it looks like when we get a better look. Jonathan, you do have those areas that I show you where you had the radial tears in the meniscus. I also wanted to show you this. I flipped the meniscus back out of place so I could look at where it tore from. And it's not a straight up and down vertical tear. So right here where you see the red, that's like the old outer margin of the meniscus where it has a good chance of healing. But you've kind of torn down on an angle. You can see this, you can almost see the demarcation at halfway where there's some blood in some areas, and then the half to the right of your screen has no blood to it. So that's an area we can't get the meniscus to heal up to. So we are going to be trimming out the portion that's torn. So we'll trim that out and smooth up the remainder, and I'll show you what that looks like when we're done. Jonathan, this is looking back on the inner side of your knee. You can see the area where I've transitioned from the normal meniscus in the front to the back where you had the tear, and you probably have about 1/3 of the width of the meniscus remaining there. I wanted to show you one other thing. From a couple of times, we don't know how old this is, but you've got some damage to the joint surface. Not a huge area, a little bit more than 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch where you've lost most of the thickness of cartilage. It's from the meniscus popping out. I did not find a piece free floating around, so I think this is probably old or slowly wearing down. The remainder of the joint surface actually looks pretty good. A couple little dings from where the meniscus had been stuck in the past. But overall, the joint looks pretty good with a little bit of arthritis. You still have the entire front half of your meniscus remaining and 1/3 of the back half. So you still have more than half the meniscus remaining, but you should not be doing any distance running as your main exercise. I'm going to see you back in the office in 1 to 2 weeks. You can take these dressings off in 2 days. It's fine to take a normal shower and get the wounds wet.